Hi guys, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well wherever you're watching this from. I am called Arthur and this is the weekly roundup. This is the car weekly roundup one for the love of cars. Every Saturday we have this conversation where we basically talk about cars, talk about what is happening in the car scene. We have some bad news. Let's okay to get on the good news. Today is 8th March. We celebrate women. Yeah, we celebrate women and we talk about women that have outdone themselves in certain fields. But today we're going to focus on cars. Welcome to the weekly round. In Uganda, I want to talk about three particular women that are very popular. Everyone knows them in the motorsport. Yeah, one wo omukyala bamuita Susan Muwonge. They even call her the Queen of Speed. Yeah. So she was the first woman to win the National Rally Championship in 2011. Ate nagira mu 2018 era nagiwangula wekitegeera, and a lot of females started basically taking part in motorsport. We have Leila Mayanja, you guys know her. We have Rose Rwakataka, you know her. Yeah, and those are, and then there's this particular lady that we don't know about. Yeah, there is a lady called Bamutani. She was the first CEO, first female managing director of Motokea Nissan Uganda. She's called Flores Sempebwa Makada. She was the first Ugandan and the first woman managing director at Motokea. For the guys that don't know Motokea, they are the dealers of Nissan by Nanimoro now, but they are known mostly for Nissan. She was the first. She joined the company in 1995, and then she was there as an administrator. Now could have through the ranks, which take it until she became MD. And they said that under her guidance, the company increased from 10% to 40%, which take it like market share. And then in motocross, we also have some very good women that we can note. Waliyo Abigail Katende, Helena Birunji, Abigail Muwanguzi, which take it. And of course, there are other Katete sisters like Shamira, Shadia, Sharifa. So these women are outstanding in the motor world. But we would also like to celebrate some other women that like cars, like Subi Queen. May God take you through. Subi Queen was attacked at her home and she's nursing wounds right now. Subi Queen, may God bless you. May you get well soon. Still be strong, yeah? And then plenty of women that love cars. And I would like to also celebrate the women that have worked really hard and bought themselves cars. Forget about the women in Gabawi. Now, yes, you work hard, but I would like to salute the women that have worked their asses off and bought themselves cars with their hard-earned money. The women that have basically braved Naganzi, and I would also like to salute the women that are fixing cars in garages, the women that know how to do diagnosis, the women that actually go under the cars, the women that know how to overhaul engines, overhaul gearboxes, the women that are body repair and body spraying, the wiring. I would like to celebrate you ladies. Happy Women's Day. Kakati, I don't know, most of you women that are actually into cars, you say because you need them, but kudos, I salute all women. All women. There is a lady we expected for some time ago. She came alone. Now she's in the car, but later on I realized that I never assumed she's braving, yeah. But happy Women's Day to you all ladies that love cars, all the ladies that and happy Women's Day to all the women in my life, starting with Mama Abban. Happy Women's Day. My Jaja, happy Women's Day. And all the women that love me, happy Women's Day. Which take it, I don't have a daughter, but happy Women's Day. Yesterday I was with Naika, and then my two sons, one is 6, the other is 4. They were talking about girlfriend. Making this for my girlfriend. But happy Women's Day to you all the ladies. I'll make you. And of course today in Uganda, today being 8th March, this is when the Uber guys, the guys that drive Uber, they set out to start a boycott Yeah, they are doing only 2 days. I don't know whether they cannot manage a week, but they are doing a 2-day boycott on driving on the Uber app. They are saying Uber is unfair. Uber charges a whooping 27% commission. Like if you drive a customer of 10K, Uber takes 2,700 shillings from that money. Now, I've done Uber before. I know 27 is a lot. They used to charge us over 18, and for us it was still too much. But 27, they used to charge about 25, and even then you had a lot of boycotts. Yeah, I left. The business doesn't make sense. But the guys that are still there are saying they have an organization. It's called the Uganda Online Taxi Drivers Association. Yeah, and they want Uber to reduce their commission. Of course, in Kenya, these guys in Kenya striked for a mere 18%. But here in Uganda, we are charging 27. I'm thinking they are charging 27 because Uganda, we don't have a lot of riders. Yeah? If you have a customer band, more, of course, more broke than the guys in Kenya. 27 is a lot. Let me try to break it down. If you ride a customer at 10K and Uber takes 27,000, now I want you to understand that a trip of 10K, a trip that Uber charges 10K, the minimum you can use as a car owner is 5K. That's a liter of fuel. So if you drive a customer and you use 5,000 shillings, because normally when you take a customer, you don't bring back one. So that's a sure deal, 5K goes down. So you've already used 5K in fuel, Uber is taking 2,700. It means you as a car owner, you're keeping 2,003. Kitegeeza gwe omusajja omukulu yagala n'ogula wiishi yo, yagala n'ogula siyenta yo, okoledde ennusu 2,300. And remember, before you pick this customer, you have to call them. There is airtime. The car is getting dirty. It's total. I have no idea why they are even striking for only 2 days. But of course, you know, it's very hard to hold it together. But personally, when I was doing Uber, you know me, I calculate everything. I used to have an Excel sheet where I put my money. I've made this, I've spent this, and it just did not make sense. There's a time I could not even maintain my own car, and it was my car. So I'm imagining the guys that have to pay the old car owners and how they are. But of course, Uganda has no jobs, which is why we have a lot of borders around. There is a time when I calculated, I actually realized the border guy makes more money than me who has a car. But I wish you luck, guys. The Uganda Online Taxi Drivers Association. I wish you luck, guys. Don't stop. Probably Uber will listen, but the thing is, I also had Uber close their offices here. They work mostly online. That might be a cost-cutting thing, so maybe they don't even care because they work online. Uganda, they have a 2-member staff just approving documents and all that. But anyway, I wish you luck, guys. But we have a video of a leader from their association telling us what is going on and why they are doing it. And then on Entebbe Road around Najana Nkumbi, a hammer caught fire. A hammer, of course, it did not have visible number plates, yeah? And it caught fire. We have seen fires in the past, yeah? There is a time a drone caught fire because of braking issues. There is a time I saw a poster catching fire. We have seen a number of Mercedes-Benz caught fire. We have seen a number of cars catch fire. And all the time people keep saying that they don't know why it has caught fire. I'll tell you why those cars catch fire. Wiring issues, poor battery placements, leaking fuel tanks, poor brake work. Brakes is equal to that. The tanks, when your car has a leaking tank, it's very easy. I don't know why I've driven a car that has a leaking tank like multiple times. I think I take up full tank after the guy I'm just lucky. Like if that petrol just hits the exhaust pipe like this, I'm telling you, you'd have a fire within no time. You get it? But poor wiring is also a cause. They put the wrong wire in the wrong place. It could very easily make your car catch fire. The battery can easily make your car catch fire. If oil or hydraulic from your steering pump or from your gearbox accidentally also hits the exhaust pipe, your car could easily catch fire. Guys, leakages. Make sure your cars have no leakages. Even an overheating car can catch fire. But overall, our cars will not burn to the ground if we had fire extinguishers. Yeah, make sure you have a fire extinguisher, however small it can be. A hammer like that like 10 small fire extinguishers coming together, maybe they would have solved the problem. Speaking of fire extinguishers, my fire extinguisher is expired, so I need to go and get fresh gas. Guys, buy fire extinguishers. You can buy the very small fire extinguisher at like the one that looks like a 1 liter bottle of water. You can get that fire extinguisher at like I think 30,000. Yeah, like the first buying is what is expensive. Then the next time you just use like 15,000 to refill it. Yeah, buy fire extinguishers and put them in your car. If that hammer person had a fire extinguisher, he would have probably been able to save his car. Now imagine how much money has gone. Buy a fire extinguisher. And in Kakumiro district, the guys that don't know Kakumiro, that's where the prime minister comes from. Yeah, in Kakumiro district, a Wish and a Chigege and a taxi. Yeah, a taxi. It's a drone actually, not a Chigege. They had a head-on collision, and so the Wish is reported to have been overtaking a certain car, and then it found a drone there. Wish drivers, abavuga Wish, mumpulira abasajja abavuga Wish, please drive properly. I've seen Wish drivers. I don't know what is wrong with guys that drive Wish, but I don't know if this is because they did not expect to buy cars, that now they buy cars, they feel like they own the world. Wish drivers are the worst drivers on the road. Yes, there is newer drivers and there's also Kawundo drivers, but the Wish drivers are very bad drivers. So this guy, the Wish driver, it was a Wish UBF 887M. It was trying to overtake, and it went and had a head-on collision with the Toyota Hiace drone UBL 456M. So, and everyone is still saying the Wish driver is the one that was in the wrong. It's bad. And it's also terrible that the Wish driver died. Right? And made other people get injured. The Wish drivers, I've had very bad experiences with Wish drivers. Soccer, the Wish drivers don't want you to cut in front of them. Like at least I don't know what's wrong with you. And guys, let's try to not overspeed. And when you're overtake responsibly. You need to calculate like 3 cars ahead. Because if you're going to be overtaking a car or a truck, make sure that there's space between this truck and the car after the truck. There is a space for you to enter. Otherwise, if there is no space and you find another car in front, you're going to get. But overall, just avoid overtaking. Like normally, overtaking saves you about 5 seconds to 10 seconds. You don't need that saving. The overtaking that I've seen that has been worth it for me has been on the Entebbe Express, because I can overtake someone not at the. Also, I've seen overtaking Makubo Getaka. Because sometimes the reason why people don't want you to overtake Makubo Getaka is because of the dust. But normally, me, when I'm in a hurry and someone tries to stop me from overtaking, I overtake them on the shoulder. And when I overtake on the shoulder, because in this, I don't overtake if I'm not in a hurry. And I don't overtake in places that I don't know. Drive on familiar roads, guys. And don't overtake in a road for example, if you're a person that drives Bombo Road regularly, why are you overtaking on Masaka Road? It doesn't make sense for you to overtake on Masaka Road. You don't know the terrain, you don't know the potholes, you don't know the corners, you don't know the blind spots, guys. Nadaraba driver Wish, the new Nuwa, the Harrier Kawundo, you guys are very terrible drivers. You're bad. So if you're driving that car and it's nothing personal, you guys just need to to work on yourselves, yeah? And then we save lives, probably even your life. Like the Wish driver is the one that died, yeah? May God rest his soul. And God, there is that accident on Bombo Road, Kawanda. I'm still scared of that place. Now I use the Rukade Road. You know the Rukade Road? The one that goes behind that. It's the old Tama. It's a Maram Road now. So for a couple of days after that accident, personally, I'm using the Rukade Road because the Rukade Road has no hills, has no valleys. I'm just there. I'm safe. That, you see, that's the Kahil that normally makes me tell you that if you're behind the truck and you're going uphill, overtake it. If you're in front of the truck and you're going downhill, go behind it or let it overtake you. Now I'm even more scared. Like those, we should have vehicle inspection mandatory, and I'm glad it's coming back. The Ministry of Works is going to be doing mandatory inspection for commercial vehicles. That means trucks and taxis. They should, because a Moroccan ya gas or jiraba. What's funny is that I think these guys just get absent-minded. A Moroccan, as you drive, it has meters. The meters tell you when there is enough gas, yeah, for braking power. And I'm thinking there are guys that drive those cars with faulty meters, and that's why we have such accidents. Because if a car like that has a meter that is showing you that the gas has reduced, you can basically just park. We have seen this with trailers. Yeah, he parks nateka yebijinje moroka najirikao, and I've seen traffic officers don't even disturb those trucks because you know how dangerous it is. But if you drive a truck without a working meter or several working meters, you will not know. And before you know it, accidents like what happened in Kawanda will happen. A lot of people died, a lot of people got broken legs, and a lot of cars were destroyed simply because of a reckless truck owner, of a reckless truck driver. I think we should have a special punishment for truck drivers that lead to accidents. Katingo yaba yetagalemo kuba fine ya million ngama 40. Aga. Because from what I've realized, like I went to a trailer park and I saw how many meters you have to show you that this is in good condition. You even have a meter for the trailer you're picking. You have a meter for the head to show you gas before you go. How can you let such an accident happen? Because that's something you can see. And guys, personally, I don't like driving at night. One of the reasons I don't like driving at night is that at night a lot of bad things can happen. You see a truck driver like that one. During the day, you can see where he can take the car, which is less fatal. But at night, the truck driver he's confused. Remember, we don't have lights on our road. This is an appeal to the government. What do you lose? And widen the road so that we have like climbing lanes and stuff like that. But a truck driver would not know where to put the car. That's why normally those bad accidents happen at night. Apart from the accident that happened in Wise a couple of years ago, you remember where the white loader truck came and like crashed a lot of cars because and normally when I'm in congested places like that, but at night a truck driver because I know during the and I find that there is something wrong with trailer companies right now. It's something I'm still verifying, but they are saying they're no longer giving them turnboys. The driver that's dangerous. The turnboy or turnman has a responsibility that if there is braking problems, they'll get out so that the car doesn't continue going in front. Now, if that truck doesn't have a turnboy, that's when dangers like that happen. You get by the souls of all those guys that died in that accident, rest in peace, and the families that have people that got injuries there. May God strengthen you through this moment. I saw a lot of people talking. The people that lost property, may God strengthen you. And I don't wish this on my worst enemy. I wish it on you. Like they should be the first car. Like if you don't like me, we should stop lying to people that we have no problem with our enemies, that we wish them well. I don't wish my enemies well. If you're my enemy, you should even be in the taxi road. You're going to stop pretending. And we live in Uganda where we are no longer pretending. You remember when there's a certain general that died and people celebrated? We live in that kind of, if you're my enemy, you're my enemy. I know if I'm your enemy, you still wish me the same. But to all the guys that lost family members, I'm praying for you. I know what it feels like to, their kids that lost parents in there. But the truck owners, please look at your trucks. It's bad that a lot of property gets spoiled, a lot of people die. Come on. And in UK there is a place in northeastern Somerset. Northeast Somerset. They introduced emission-based charges. The parks were free. You know how you can go and park anywhere, and you can park there for free for many years. And then now they start saying you can see your number plate. Your car is old. And now, based on your number plate, they are going to charge you because your car is destroying the environment. So that's what they are introducing in those 3 parks. So what they are saying is that they'll have sensors that look at your number plate and they gauge the year. And now by gauging the year, of course now in Uganda it will not work, we are going digital. But like 10 years from now, it can be able to work. So they say, we'll look at your number plate and gauge how much you're affecting the environment, and then we charge you like that. And they say that the drivers will pay between $1 and £1.20 to £1.80 for their third hour of parking. But that is based on how dangerous your car is to the environment. Now, there are people that I know whose cars will pay a lot because sometimes itokotanga tractor ulanesokenga no kwaka ulasoka naji pakwa bemugesa najilinda najilinda bakoma one kuba ati baba agenda sasulanga mmeka okitegeera. But that's what is happening. So all council car parks in 2023 zali zifree naye ne bakireeta ekyo ekintu to make sure that we have a cleaner transportation and higher space turnover. If you pay park, like you see here in Kampala, like if you're going to pay 1,000 per hour for parking, you're not going to be in that park for long. You'll say, but if you go to a free parking, the same thing that happened at the National Theatre. It used to be free parking and people would park there and the same thing happened at Forest Mall, Gogo Mall. Guys used to park there and now it's 1K per hour. So people don't park there, but it's still full always. So I hope we can also introduce this, but I don't, because me I'm driving old cars, so chiba chigenda kuundia. I don't bang up to parking here. Why you say about your cars? Yeah, it's getting bus on the train, but this works in countries that have worked. But I had the government actually introducing the train, so that's something we discussed on Saturday. And in Kenya, they have a safari rally, and the 2025 entry list was announced. Yeah. So the event will feature Rally 1 teams, including prominent drivers like Thierry Neuville, that's for the Hyundai Shell Mobis team, Ot Tanak, still Hyundai, and the Skelly Rovampera, the Toyota Gazoo Racing team, yeah. And then the 16 Rally 2 crews that will come and compete in the same. And then they also have their local talents like Karan Patel. They have Carl Tundo, yeah, bagenda kubeera yo. So the guys that are going to go, I'm sure some Subaru guys are going to go to the rally team. It's the Safari Rally. So it's happening starting on 20th and it ends on 23rd. If you guys had sponsored us, my team would go and enjoy. You people don't sponsor us. Very soon we'll start a GoFundMe page for us to go to Faninga. Some people here have never gone to Kenya. The farthest they have traveled is Bali. They have never been to Kenya. So if you sponsor us, nothing got forget this Subaru chafenga tugenda tutukwata mawirago. Yeah, but in the 20th to 23rd, if you're looking for a holiday, you're looking for you to spend those 3 days, you can go to the Safari Rally. So MrBeast, you guys know MrBeast from YouTube, has 230 million subscribers on YouTube, has a lot of views. Has a lot of views, and MrBeast periodically pushes the limits to everything that can be achieved. And one of the recent limits he pushed was he was trying to drive the fastest electric race car. Yes, MrBeast is Jimmy Donaldson, yeah? So he was pushing it. So he was driving the Formula E Gen 3 race car, which can reach up to 200 meters per hour, but 322 kilometers. You know what that means? 322 kilometers per hour. Do you know what that means? It means I can drive from here to Mbarara in an hour. Memphis sound in Kundachika. Sicho. Mbarara is how far? 330. So I can drive from here to Mbarara in an hour and 5 minutes. But on which road? On which road? I'm sure even President Museveni wishes he could go faster, but he can't. But anyway, so MrBeast tried to drive this very fast car, and he crashed it. He came out unharmed. And but before he went driving, he was trained by this guy called Jake Dennis. He's reigning Formula E champion. Manyo muntu bakuleta champion. MrBeast has hire the best. Guy came and trained him how to drive the car, which controls to use, how it uses regenerative braking. You know what regenerative braking is? Like as you brake, it charges the battery. Yeah. So he trained him everything. Now I'm so but of course, I find that driving an electric car is not the same as driving a normal combustion engine car. A better silent, like I've driven a hybrid, and when the engine is off, the normal engine is off, and that's dangerous. It's the same challenge that the border guys here above and I'm thinking they even drive slow because tamanyi atiamu ustegira. But that's what happened. MrBeast, of course, he continues pushing limits, and that's probably one of the things that has made him one of the biggest, probably the biggest YouTuber ever. He has given away money, he has given away cars, he has even built some schools I think in Kenya. You know how beggars these days can give themselves rights. Anyway, so that's what happened. But MrBeast can replace that guy like an hour. You guys watch his content. Get him on your computer. I take a number of Nagaba. You didn't for the hour. Can't be full in them. Make it big. Continue making it big. And of course, in France, someone attacked a Tesla showroom. Nobody really knows what happens, but because you know in those European countries, perimeter wall fence they do so someone actually cut a hole through, and they went and basically tried to burn down the Tesla showroom. 8 cars were completely burnt, and then 4 were just their ways too. And of course, police is still investigating. They say the fire department came in at 4 a.m. and then the showroom had to close for like a day. Yeah, and it happens. Sometimes someone just doesn't wish you well, which is why I find that in Uganda we need to adapt the water sprinkler systems. The water they put in the sea. I want to put those things in my home. I'm definitely going to put those things in my home, and then I'll attach them to solar. You get it? But I don't know why. I think these guys did not have a sprinkler system there. But it's very effective, yeah? You guys have seen it in the movies. Also me, I've seen it in the movies. Like I've been to hotels that have those things, but I find that they're very safe. So if we can probably, I've not seen a company that sells those things, but if we can adapt those things, it could save us a lot of money, the water sprinkler systems. Yeah, so that's what happened in the France Tesla showroom, yeah? Bank Australia in Australia is saying they are no longer offering loans on petrol and diesel cars. They are offering loans on vehicles that don't use any kind of fuel. They are trying to save the environment. Even hybrids are no longer receiving loans. That's a big standard. But in Australia, there are countries that are a bit developed. But that's what they are saying. They are no longer offering loans for those vehicles. But you're going to need more cash. And you know how Europeans and Americans survive on loans for cars, yeah? I think that people are going to be pushed to buy electric vehicles. And I think even banks here can have a stand. Of course, Maria Bantuago already broke up edges and they are the same range, and of course electric cars now are new cars. But that's what is happening there. And so the CEO, Sasha Colville, stated that the seizing car loans for new fossil fuel vehicles sends a signal to the Australian market about the rapid acceleration in the transition from internal combustion to electric vehicles expected in the coming years. That's a very powerful stand, yeah? That's a very powerful stand. But in Uganda, we have not had the organization to make such a powerful stand. Like, I'll give you an example in politics here. NBS fired Zambari, or suspended Zambari, and they kept someone. I think they kept the lady. I don't know what her name. Bagaya. I think she's called Bagaya. And then there was a storm on social media, like, you can't fire just one person. And then they ended up suspending even the lady. And then I think they suspended another guy who does the English talk show. Still because he wants to take part in politics. So I find that in Uganda here, it's the public that pushes corporate organizations to actually take a stand. But it would be nice if we could take a stand. Like for me, I took a stand. There are places I don't inspect. Again, I inspecting because I know the cars are bad. Volkswagen has recalled over 60,000 EVs over this plague glitch. Now, what is happening is that in America, the Volkswagen Group has recalled 60,000 electric vehicles that were manufactured between 2021 and 2023 due to gear displacement issues. Now, what is happening is that you guys have seen this. There is a car we bought that still had that challenge. You put the car in drive, but the car is still showing neutral. And when you try to move it, it doesn't move because it's still in neutral. Now, with the mechanical vehicles, there's a phaser cable. It's very easy to work on. But these guys are making electric vehicles. It's a norm. So it's a software thing. And they are recalling those cars to repair the software. And of course, they also had, they have other, the models, of course, that are affected. America, Mulimu, the Volkswagen ID4, Q4 e-tron, and the Audi Q4 e-tron Sportback is also affected. So, but they are saying, you know what, just bring the car, we update the software, then you take it back. Because it's a software thing, it's not really that big. But the problem with those cars is that if the gear is not functioning the way it's supposed to function, it means if I can put the car in a parking area and then it doesn't take it to park, it can still roll. That can cause accidents, and that's why they are recalling them. And of course, in February, they recalled 32,000 vehicles due to a separate concern. One was the rear view car malfunction, and then there were those cars that had issues with battery overheating. Now the rear view camera thing for Uganda will not definitely have no problem, and I'm sure there are people that will buy those cars even with that issue in there because it refers to Uganda. So for us, we are okay. But for them, Banafu, they are used to doing the reverse camera. And of course, there are some models that have overheating issues, yeah? The rear view camera recall affected over 29,000 vehicles, yeah? Including the 2022 Volkswagen Tiguan, and the 2023 Volkswagen Arteon sedan. So, and then the 2024 and 2025 Audi Q3 SUVs, those were affected. And then there are 2,616 that were Q5 that were called because of the hybrid battery issue that they overheat. Yeah. So, of course, you guys can know the guys will take a lot of 15. Some of you guys are still buying 2010. Some of you guys are going to buy 2000. But it's good to know. In the future, when you get rich and you want to import those vehicles, you will remember that Arthur talked about it, yeah? We're gonna make them dance. Come on, jump, jump. And this week's comparison, I want us to talk about push to start versus key to start. Now, where's my key? I don't know. You throw me my key. And also give me your key so that we can make a good comparison. You throw. I'm good. So, we are going to compare these two. This is a push to start key. This key has an immobilizer. This is the normal key. These are two different cars. Now they both have alarms, which explains these are others. So this is the normal key that most of you guys are used to. It starts anytime, any day. It breaks, you cut another key at around 20k. Very easy to use, yeah? And then this is a push to start car key. I remember the first time I bought a car that had a push. It was a Vitz. The guys that follow the channel remember. And I enjoyed it. I just push a button like this and it was nice, good experience. And then we were going to shoot a pilot in Chanja. We were looking for a location, so we went to Chanja and I parked properly. The car came driving. I hadn't experienced this. So I come out of the gate where we had seen the location, enter the car, try to, even before I entered the car, I pressed to open. The car refused to open. It was not seeing the key. Later on, I realized they told me there was a certain general from the police that lives in the area and he has signal jammers. In places where you have signal jammers, push to start cars will not start. I remember a couple of years ago, they used to say, break down and all that. People in China are still experiencing it. You have to put the key very close to the sensor there, the push to start sensor. Now, I want us to compare these cars. Which one should you buy? What are the advantages and disadvantages? The advantage of this car, no matter what, most cars you don't even need to press the brake. Very cheap to maintain, very cheap to replace the entire system, but also very easy to steal. It's very cheap for Kanabe to cut this key. This one is a security in its own case. The push to start key. Yeah? Without this key, nebo okolotya teva no kugula weyinza okuganda okujango ina remote like ya ala kungaze. But this is much more secure, much more expensive to replace. With this, you have to buy a battery. If there is no battery, still the car doesn't start, doesn't open. But the advantage of this, you buy a keyless entry. You don't need the key. You can put it in your pocket, come, and the car will sense the key and you open it and get it. Now, this is harder to steal. Replacing this key, if it gets lost, is about 400 to 500,000 shillings. Replacing this key, if you lost it, will cost you about 50k. Cheap, expensive. For someone to steal the car that has a push to start, they will need to go and make a copy of this. Now, if you have this key, to make a copy out of it will probably cost you 230,000. Majority of car thieves will not do this, but majority of car thieves will do this. This is the first line of security, the button, which is why I don't normally recommend for people that have a push to start car to put a security button. This is already a security button. This, you need to put a security button. With this car, if you put a security button, you can actually make it jump. This, you need a security button. With both cars, you need an alarm system. Because if you find someone that knows what he's doing, they'll still take this car. This is very easy to take. This is also easy to take. This, if it gets failure, like the button gets a failure, then it's very expensive to replace. This is very cheap. I've replaced it in a bit before. So, what should you buy? It depends on what is available. If you go to buy a car and they have an option of a push to start and a key to start, buy the push to start. Buy the push to start as a first line of security and also advancement in technology, so that when time comes for you to sell your car, you actually have technology that is a little bit newer than this. So buy a push to start if you can. And guys, this week's tip is, if you're going to buy a car, I find that the biggest issue we have when we're going to buy a car is listening to so many people. That's a challenge. Listening to so many people when you're going to buy a car will most of the time make you make a mistake. Everyone has their 2 cents on cars. And if you decide to call over 5 people, njagala gula moroka nkoze ntya ani akuguza njagala gula moroka nkoze ntya ani akuguza, and then all these people keep taking you around. You get? And then the problem with us listening to people, we think that if Arthur gives you someone to sell you a car, they know them. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they also found them on the street. You get? And accidentally, that time the car they got was good. Now, what if you end up getting a bad car? I've told you time and again, we don't just buy cars. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So the thing is, when you're going to, it's like buying land. You cannot go telling people, yagara gula taka. If you want to buy land and you know a certain area you want to buy land, get a broker in that area or 2 brokers and work with them. Like buying a car is a very personal thing. You don't want everyone to have a hand in what car you buy. Remember, some people don't actually wish you well. Some people don't even know what to wish you. Some people don't even know what they're talking about. So when you're going to buy a car, you need to find a trusted, and always make sure you move with someone close to you, someone that knows you, someone that understands you. Move, for people that have big families, move with your brother or with your sister. Make sure that when you're going to buy a car, that person move with someone that knows you better. For chicks that have boyfriends, move with your boyfriend. For boyfriends, you can move with your girlfriend. It doesn't make you less of a man if you move with your girlfriend to go choose a car. But all in all, avoid asking so many people for opinions when you're going to buy a car. You'll even get influenced into buying something that is not good for you. Thank you very much for being part of this week's episode of the Car Weekly Roundup. We are painting it women. Happy Women's Day. May the good Lord bless you. I'll see you next Saturday. Don't forget we have live broadcast every Monday to Friday 7:25 and every Saturday and Sunday at 5:20. May the good Lord bless you. Ciao.